The Opels of tomorrow are going to look different, are going to be more sustainable, and are going to have a lot more cool technology. I'm really excited to dig deeper with you today on Autogefuel, with me AJ, as we take a closer look at the new Opel concept. There are three pillars for this. The first is the modern German design, the second is the Greenovation, and the third is the Detox. The first thing you can already see, this design language, and that starts with the compass and the new logo. So the horizontal axis and the vertical axis for the compass is now illuminated, and taking center stage is the brand new Opel logo with the new design. Really cool in 3D right here in this new visor. Speaking of which, this visor is going to house all of the ADAS systems like the LiDAR, the radar sensors, and of course the digital LED lighting. The second pillar, Greenovation, is just a fun word for green innovation, sustainability. Concepts that we've heard of for a long time now, but what they aim to do with this is of course use more recycled material, use recyclable material, shift towards more vegan interiors and so on. And another interesting thing is to use lighting as decoration. Chrome is a very acidic process for manufacturing, and therefore they want to use a lot of ambient lighting and LED lighting across the design of the exterior and interior to decorate the car. And we can see this in the concept even more on the sides as well. Of course, a lot more aerodynamic design language, much more sculpted three-dimensional body panels, and look at those wheels, look really funky. So again, more innovation has gone into designing wheels which are more aerodynamic but still look pretty cool. So did you notice that there are no rear view mirrors on this concept car? Well, that's because with their more 360 vision, they're able to provide you projections of the car's surroundings and not have to rely on mirrors at all. Isn't that interesting? There's solar panels on the roof to help provide the extra power needed for these extra lighting. Now, the third pillar is Detox. And by this, they don't mean detracting from the experience, but actually just to remove the clutter. And that's highlighted in the interior, and we'll speak a little bit more about that in a minute. But also it means that they want to liberate more space on the inside. Now, this car's footprint is roughly the size of a Opel Astra, but of course it's electric, so they have the mass centralized lower down, and with a very short front overhang, they're able to provide a lot more space on the inside. This Detox also means that there's a lot of decluttering in the design on the outside. Here at the rear, you can also see that you have the compass, so the horizontal and the vertical lines are also illuminated. You have the Opel lettering right here in this very three-dimensional sculpted visor. So what do you think of the overall design language, this modern German design? Do you like it? Put it down in the comments below. Again, lighting is being used significantly for decoration and for practical purposes. Look at the size of these indicators all the way from the middle to the side. Here in the rear, it's cascading, but not as big. I am RoboCop. No. Well, unfortunately, there's no real interior in the concept car, so I'm going to wear this AR headset, and then I'm going to show you what the ideas for the new interior for the Opel experimental concept car is going to look like. Of course, keep in mind that because it's the same branding with the Vauxhalls will also have the similar kind of technology. So we're going to play the stream of what I'm actually looking at, so the resolution might be a bit different on and off. But if we peer inside, now we'll see some of the interior specifications. So first and foremost, what you will notice is that the seats are very different. So they have this concept of having a 3D printed mesh, which can also kind of change color. So another cool idea that they have for this concept is to basically use a lot of lighting on the interior. So on the dashboard, even on the seats, not just LED in terms of the strips that we're used to in the current ambient lighting packages of cars, but also woven in as optical fibers into the seats and in the interior. So you're not stuck with one color for one car for the rest of your life. You can just pick, oh, today I want a red interior or a blue interior. And all of the seats and the entire ambience of the car will change, which I think is a really great idea. And of course, in the future, this will be pretty much autonomous, so the steering wheel can also be moved out of the way. And what you might notice is that there's no screens. Well, another concept is that they will project holograms and information using your augmented reality headset, which I think, I've talked about this with a lot of designers in the past. I'm not really convinced. But what is definitely a great idea is to project most of the information onto the windscreen with a really elaborate head-up display. The Opel Experimental also features a lot of interesting active aerodynamics, like for example, this active rear diffuser. So now I'm sitting quote-unquote inside the Opel Experimental. So again, Detox, very minimal dashboard, no screens of course because they will be projected onto your headset, and when this car is driving itself, then the steering wheel also retracts and liberates so much more space on the interior. But to me, the highlight which I can see coming out first in terms of new tech is the color lighting across the fabric on the dash and on the seats. I think this will really help people, just enjoy different kinds of ambience inside the car. So, let me know what you think. We can already expect to see some of these technologies in bits and pieces coming out in the next generation of Opel cars. Of course, things like the augmented reality, it's a little bit further away, but I'm really interested to see how this progresses. Thanks for watching. Why don't you check out some of the other videos here to learn more.